What's up, everybody, and welcome to Inside the Game, your one source for everything in the world of video games. That's right, we have it all. News, reviews, and more. We have an excellent show this week. It's all about shooters. Check it out. It's The Rundown.
All of the wait is over. We're finally into it. This is Battlefield 2042.
Scott, you and I are jumping into the single-player campaign of Call of Duty Vanguard. This is one we always look forward to because it is this blockbuster experience, but...
Alright, Nate, this week we're getting to check out Call of Duty Vanguard's multiplayer. I don't know about you, I'm a huge COD guy. I think anybody that's watched this show even somewhat knows I'm a big COD guy.
What is that?
Oh, I just got... Yo, Scott, we just got sniped.
Yeah, he's gonna... I was like, what's that little glint over the...
Well, I told you it's all about shooters, so let's get going. As Steve and Scott, check out the latest from DICE. It's Battlefield 2042.
We're on the battlefield. I'll take point, Steve. You watch the rear. Just finger off the trigger, buddy. All of the wait is over. We're finally into it. This is Battlefield 2042. Now, this is a very, very highly requested looking for this game. Everybody has super hyped. And now that it's finally here, well, we've got to go over some of the problems with it. But quickly, if I could just describe, this game does not have a single player mode. It is online only. And that exists in 3 different forms. There's the kind of Battlefield that you're used to, the open warfare chapter. There's also a kind of battle royale mode known as Hazard Zone. You go in with a team of 4, and when you're out, you're out. And then there's lastly Battlefield Portal, which has the other kind of Battlefield maps and rules, weapon sets, that kind of thing. So you can spice up the game currently with some of the old maps and do a lot of custom game things. I think that's really cool. I'm a little bit more of a Battlefield veteran than you are, so I want to take your opinion of this one first. What was your first thought jumping into this game?
Well, first off, I would say I've not played a lot of the Battlefields. I think I played a little bit of the second one, the campaign. I've heard a lot of anticipation about this game. Everyone's looking forward to it. And first off, I would say stunningly, visually, it looks beautiful. They've done a good job on the graphics side of front. And the audio as well, like when the airplanes and the helicopters and the mortar bombs, really good with the headphones on. But it does come with glitches. Yeah. I did experience, I know they only just released from the beta not long ago. And I had a few textual issues coming on. And I did have a big gripe about the shooting mechanics, because I have heard that you have to, the bullet actually drops on long range sniper shots. So I missed a lot of players, like when my crosshairs was on the heads from a certain distance, but then I would get sniped from somewhere further with one hit.
Yeah.
Or I could be crouched behind some rock or some vehicle and I'll get shot. And there is a lot of running in this game, which I wasn't anticipating.
Yeah, they're really big open maps in this Battlefield in general. Now, there's definitely a long history of kind of big open maps, but I find this game specifically seems a lot more open. A little emptier. A large part of your gameplay is walking from point A to B, and like you say, there's a lot of people out there that have even more experience than I do. I really like that there is some of that realism with the gunplay. The bullets drop, they aren't always 100% accurate. That's something that adds to the realism, but there's also an issue with the realism in this. As we discovered pretty early on, there is a hovercraft that was able to scale a skyscraper, park on top, and levy destruction at a rate I have not seen in a very long time.
I did find it, for my first time as well, with in the open warfare one with the 126 up to players, was I did feel very isolated, because you're right, it's a massive open world or big map, and traveling from point A or even just getting to the destination. You know, you get there 5 minutes running and then you get sniped with one shot. Your teammates won't even revive you. There's no communication, and I did find that aspect a little bit overwhelming for me on the bigger multiplayer side of things.
One last thing that I have to touch on is some of the glitching that is involved. It doesn't seem to have much explanation. I don't really understand what's happening, and it hasn't happened to me in other games. I tried to jump in yesterday, and it was like my camera was detached from my body. And that's really strange, but let me explain. It felt like tank controls. I could move forward and back with the normal thumbstick, and I could spin my camera around, but it seemed divorced from tank controls. And furthermore, if I spun the camera all the way around just to try and look behind me, I could see my neck and my body as I rotated around. It was really strange, and again, not the polish I want to see in this game. But without getting into too much further, it's easy to list the problems, but there are a lot. I want to know your new experience to this game. What did you think about this one?
I think it's not. I don't think it's ready for release. I think they could have waited a little bit longer to sort some issues out.
Yeah.
I've always been a story-driven kind of game person anyhow, and I would have liked a campaign with this as well, just to add a little bit of difference to it as well, get a bit more involved in the game, like a bit of a background. For my experience on this, I'm not kind of ready for this kind of game. I think I'm giving this one a 5.
Oh, that is completely fair. I hear a lot of those points too. If this one could have used another 6 months in the oven, and I don't really know why they didn't decide that. I definitely agree with you. The exclusion of a single player really hurts my experience of the game. There's new things like wingsuits and different vehicles, weapons that I would have liked to get more familiar with in a safe environment, but it just wasn't there, and that's really a drag. I see a lot of potential. I think a year from now it will be an entirely different game and a lot better, but it just wasn't quite there yet. As a fan of the series, I'm pretty disappointed in this one overall, and that is super negative to me, but I have to give this one a 4, and that hurts. The extremely anticipated sequel really fails to deliver. Riddled with bugs and missing single player and many familiar features, it does have potential with further updates and additions, but oh.
That's right, in a surprise drop from 343 Industries, we have the Halo multiplayer. I can't believe it either. Halo Infinite multiplayer is here. How the guys and I do? Well, let's find out.
Capture 3 flags. I didn't get to see more than that.
E16. Nate is not.
Ooh.
Man.
I don't know. I do. It's supposed to say ITG.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, because I have it. I have it set to ITG.
I was supposed to change mine.
They're gonna be coming right side, 2 of them.
But I'm just
I'm gonna sit back. Well, that was a toss. That was a toss right there. Whoa. Sounded like Scotty. Oh, Nate died? How'd you die down there, Nate? Where is it? Oh, whoa!
That guy came from behind, man. I don't know where he came from. Sounds like how he looped all the way over.
I am dead. They got our flag. They get him. Get it. Get him, Nate. Nice. Behind you, Nate. Behind you.
I'm toast. He's hurt.
Flag fight! Get back!
So you just gotta stay behind you guys.
How do you get it back to your base?
You stand on it, and then there's a little timer.
Okay, I got it. Ah, man. I tried. I was like, I feel like my armor suits are rust bucket compared to Nate's.
I gotta get a splash color on there.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I got him.
Gotta get the power lesson.
Trying to grab it and go, but
Oh,
the grenade, yeah, the best part.
man. Grenade.
Keep going, buddy. Keep going.
Running.
Keep going.
We're pushing
Go,
hard,
go,
bud.
go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Go.
Oh, I got a couple more down here. Oh, they're moving up left side. Oh, they're on the flag.
Oh, no way. I was right there on the other side.
Their flag. Good job.
Oh. I just left a bunch of grenades for
Well,
Cory to
they're
run
all
through.
right here. There's 3 of them back there.
Just brushed it off like nothing.
Yeah, they haven't.
Oh, there. I couldn't tell where I had to bring this thing, man.
Yeah, you gotta take it to our side, but these guys are all over here.
Got all turned around.
The guy looks like he was a
Got
bunch
him.
of colored army men
Got
molded
him.
together.
Flag is still over there though.
We have eyes on the enemy flag carrier.
Ah!
I just see Drew's lone name over there, like he's got it.
No.
We
Why
got
would you
this.
ever think that? Go, Nate.
Oh,
Man.
as if I survived that. There's no good
Drew,
explanation.
you wanna?
Whoa! I'm getting shot now. Dude's right there. Oh, nice.
Yikes.
What is that?
Oh,
Oh,
I just got. Yo, Scott, we just got sniped.
yeah, he's gonna. I was like, what's that little glint over the? I
Where
turned
is he,
first,
Nate?
like, hey Cory, what is? And you were just gone. Oh no.
Man.
Toys are ours.
Oh, come on. You.
Nice, Drew.
I shot you.
Double kill.
You have
His
5 minutes for
compatriot
me.
there, and then my grenade was able to kill him. That's funny.
Yeah, we gotta get this, boys. We got this. Feel it.
Maybe I'll hear Nate real fast on that one.
Yeah.
I didn't
Behind you,
actually
Cory.
know who that was.
That was
Oh,
Nate.
I can't get out of there, man.
It was like a mouse took over. Oh, no.
All right, we got this.
Enemy flag carrier.
I believe in you guys.
Bothers me that this.
I just
second
died.
Floor
Oh.
is just out of
I got
jump
2
range.
of them.
There's 2 of them at our flag base. I mean,
I'm got ours back.
nice. They're gonna take our flag though.
Oh, I didn't know they did it. Sorry.
Taken our flag. The enemy carrier.
Okay, that's weird. I don't like that.
No way.
Oh, come on, man. How many times I gotta beat that guy up? Good job, Drew.
Get him. Oh, get him. Nice.
Oh, these guys are
Alright.
lucky.
Woo.
That's what they call in Call of Duty a one shot, one kill.
Oh man, I got him with a nade.
Moving.
Going.
Got the flag back, boys.
That guy was right on your
Oh,
heels.
Should be clutch.
Oh, come on. There we
dead. Well, we got 2 seconds. 1. Nice.
Victory.
That was intense. That was close
Let's
game.
go.
Yeah,
That was
close.
good.
That was good. Yeah, it was good. Scott, it's that time of year. It's the shooter season. Let's get going.
Boy, is it ever.
Scott, you and I are jumping into the single player campaign of Call of Duty Vanguard. This is one we always look forward to because it is this blockbuster experience. But this time round, it hasn't struck me a chord the way it normally does in the past. Dude, I did not really care for this campaign whatsoever. But before I dive into it, what were your thoughts?
Well, this is, kind of run-of-the-mill Call of Duty stuff. We have a bunch of characters we're introduced to. They are stuck in a predicament. You take your turn in each of the different roles, and you kind of learn the backstory as to what makes these characters interesting. We're back in World War II, so there's a lot of kind of set pieces that you would expect. We have the Russian sniper woman. We have the tanker kind of down in the mud fighter. We have a lot of different soldiers, the pilot. There's a lot of different roles that they take on, and some of that is, well, it leads to some predictability. But before I get in on that, what did you think about the kind of set pieces to this one?
I feel like I've been here before. That's my biggest problem. Like, I've done this kind of thing already with Call of Duty. Like, it's not like I've copied it out of a different game and played this. I've played this with Call of Duty already. So for me, I'm like, this isn't very new or exciting. I think the game looks great. Didn't even run all that well because I had a bunch of lag experiences within the game, like a bunch of chugging, and I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Why am I freeze and then my character would go again? They hyped this up as playing as Paulina, the sniper female character, right? Dude, I was pumped because I'm if I can pick the sniper role, that's my choice, right? That's my way to go.
Oh yeah,
so I was excited to get into that. You didn't get into Paulina's role till halfway, 3/4 of the way through the game. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. She's not the main character. You told me more or less that this was gonna be the main character. You hyped it up as she was the main protagonist, and it's just, man, fell flat. The story I thought was just predictable. Characters were okay. Nothing about this game for me was exciting whatsoever. I was bored, Scott. I didn't like this one. Cold War for me was a lot better, personally. This just didn't meet all the expectations coming out of a Call of Duty game. What about you? How does this story grab you?
Well, there's definitely a lot to be said where it has all the same kind of story beats that we've come to expect from Call of Duty. And you're absolutely correct. We have done some of this before. Other than that, I think the story was the main focus, which might sound a little silly to some. If you think about Call of Duty, it's just a shooting gallery. I mean, that's not incorrect, but there is a lot of interesting story element behind it, and that was something that really drew me in to keep playing, because it would hop into a new character and you learn the backstory, but it also goes through all these different cutscenes that are all really, really well acted. I have to tip my hat to the actors, no doubt, that put a lot of work into it. It's not just voice acting. It looks to be a full performance, and they really did capture some of that emotion in the cutscenes, which is something that a lot of games struggle to do.
Absolutely. Dude, the level design as well for me was so narrow and linear. It was point A to point B, and you cannot veer off in any direction. There's one at the beginning of the game, you're supposed to, you're down and out on your luck. You got to hide in some of these bushes kind of thing and sneak past some of the AI and the enemies, right? Dude, you can't even get in the bush. Like, I'm at the edge of the bush and I'm getting picked off. I'm like, this is brutal. I remember Modern Warfare 2. Dude, you remember laying in the ghillie suit and you're on the ground, the tanks are rolling by you and you get that pressure, right?
Yeah.
That's not even here. That is not here whatsoever. This Vanguard, dude, is not for me. I don't think it's for a lot of people. It's just a huge, giant miss this season.
There is a lot of, I call it a Michael Bay effect, where it's just a lot of explosions, a lot of loud noises, some kind of sloppy gunplay, and for those that come to enjoy that part of Call of Duty, there is enough in here for you to get curiosity and explore it, and I think there'll be something there for you. Your comment about the level creation and the kind of design behind that, it definitely strikes something that I had thought. There's not very much option. There is in kind of later on levels, but it seems pretty narrow. One thing that I didn't like at all was the scaling walls you do as the sniper. She is a great character otherwise, great action. I love the story, but when it comes to climbing up these walls, it's not done well, in my opinion. You and I are the Assassin's Creed fans on the team, and I just, the way you look, first of all, it's in first person. That's mistake number one, I think. And you grab these bricks that are so obviously sticking out of the wall, and it's just this really clunky, kind of jumpy, hopping up from brick to brick. It seemed really silly, and I can't imagine Altair doing it quite like that. There's a lot of things that they really tried to do with this game, and I understand the need to innovate, but it just didn't really come across as successful. I personally did really appreciate the story, and the action is the shooting gallery that I've come to expect. I didn't particularly like the well, here's the plane turn, and now, here's the tanker section. I was kind of bored of that stuff, but overall, this game did impress me. I want to give this a 7.5. There's a few little misses here and there.
Dude, this one's a huge miss. I'm on the far other side of the scale on this one. There's so many issues I have with this game. It was so predictable, so linear, and boring. For me, 3.5.
Oh. Call of Duty Vanguard's campaign is a great story and gorgeous cinematics, but it lacks innovation from the Call of Duty formula.
Well, guys, I think it's easy to say that in the middle of a global pandemic, we still have had a huge amount of great games to play. However, we've also had some setbacks. Nate, I'm going to kick it to you. What is one of your biggest disappointments coming out of 2021 for video games?
Well, man, if there's got to be one that takes the cake, it's unfortunately Battlefield 2042. When I first saw this game at launch, man, or when they first shown the trailer, I was beyond hyped at the Xbox presentation. It looked great. Of course, I did have a little skepticism going in because DICE is notorious for having rocky launches. But unfortunately, guys, this launch is the rockiest and the worst I have seen from Battlefield yet. They've basically taken all of what was good from Battlefield and gotten rid of it, and have kind of gone into this Overwatchy, Call of Duty style gameplay. And from all the clips I've seen online, I mean, this game is so beyond broken. I mean, let's start with, I guess, one thing. There's no destruction. I saw a video of a guy crashing into 7 different skyscrapers and no damage, nothing. And then the 8th one, it finally did something. That was one of my favorite things from Battlefield, man. When I played Battlefield 3 and 4 and 1, like everything, basically the entire map was leveled by the end of it. And that was one of my favorite things. So going into this, I was like, well, maybe the storms can, maybe bring some sort of excitement if that's not in it. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't even really do much. I've seen one cool thing, the tornado, and even that, if you're doing a certain map, you can't even go to it. So, I don't know, man. This game, I was really hyped for, maybe playing with 5 to 6 to 7 people with this 136 player game. But no, it's only me and max 3 other friends to play Conquest mode. So I'm going to just stop there. I could go on for about half an hour about why this game's really just upset me. But, I think in a year from now or 2, this game could be solid. But when you got Call of Duty Vanguard and Halo Infinite multiplayer beta that are perfectly fine, then you should definitely just be playing those. But all right, Cory, what's your disappointment of 2021?
Well, you know what, Nate? I felt everything you just said there because I do feel the same way about Battlefield. I mean, my hopes were so high for this one. I was looking for the game of the game. It didn't happen, unfortunately. So, you know what? I went through some of the old reviews from this past year. I was looking at some of the games we played, and there's definitely been some ones out there that have not, been up to snuff. And one of the ones that I came across that actually really did disappoint me and actually was more of a surprising disappointment was Mario Golf Super Rush on the Nintendo Switch. I wanted Mario Golf to be awesome, and this version of it was just so boring, and the mechanics of running from shot to shot was supposed to be this big innovation to the gameplay, and it really didn't add that much. It was kind of lame overall. It was just, the game itself was just a big disappointment. It was a basic golf game, at the core always being a Mario Golf game, but then when there isn't anything to really make it that exciting to play, it was kind of just, I think I gave it like a 4 or something out of 10, and I mean, that's not a great score, and it's just one of those games where even when you play with your friends, it's not even really enhancing the experience that much. I mean, Mario Golf Super Rush was definitely my biggest disappointment of the year. What about you, Scott?
Oh man, well, one that was long thought of that I didn't really expect coming was MechWarrior 5. Now, it was something that was really important to me because I had played a lot of MechWarrior 2 back in the day. When I got my first laptop set up, you know, I went headfirst into the online matches and just absolutely had a great time. These really kind of slow burn fights with huge reward when you get through it. It was something that it'll take a long time for me to forget, but when we saw mention of MechWarrior 5, I thought, okay, here it is, brand new consoles, here we go. It's been a decade since I've looked at the last MechWarrior game. This is going to be good. I can't wait for the online portion, and then there was none. There's no online portion whatsoever, and I don't want to take too much away from the game. It is, at its core, a good game. It does service to the different mechanics of the mech fighting. The customization is all there. It's really good. But it just didn't have what I wanted it to have, and it just sucked.
That sucks.
It does suck. Scott, I'm in the same vein. Dude, I have my game, and it was one I was looking forward to. I was like, man, I'll be here for months. I think I was there for about 2 weeks. It's kind of how it turned out to be at the most. Because, no one's playing Hood, Outlaws, and Legends. It was just me.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of it. It launched so bare bones. It lost the community. I was talking, Scott and I were talking last night. I jumped online like, yo, dude, there are 7 people right now watching Hood, Outlaws, and Legends on Twitch. That was it. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
7 friends.
7 people. That was it. I'm like, this is a brand new game. Problem is, it launched with 4 people out of the whole Robin Hood franchise idea, right? 2-3 maps, and then that was it. No battle pass. They talked about a battle pass. They launched it later. Came too late. Too little, too late is kind of how Hood, Outlaws, and Legends ended up for me, which is too bad because at the core, it's a good game. Everything is there, right? Cory, you and I had fun. We all had fun playing this game. We all been in it. We had a great time. It's empty. At the end of the day, it just turned out to be empty, and that was my biggest disappointment because I was looking for that scenario of having the Assassin's Creed multiplayer-esque feel come back somehow, and this was it for me, and it just didn't live up to it, unfortunately. Those are our most disappointing games of 2021. Let us know what yours are over at InsideTheGame.ca.
All right, Nate. Scott and Drew covered us on the campaign, but we're jumping all over Call of Duty Vanguard's multiplayer. Let's check it out.
Their lives turned upside down by the Reich. Each one with an axe to grind. And when we turn them loose, you better believe they're coming out swinging.
All right, Nate, this week we're getting to check out Call of Duty Vanguard's multiplayer. I don't know about you, I'm a huge COD guy. I think anybody that's watched this show even somewhat knows I'm a big COD guy. So I was excited once this game dropped. Drew and Scott are taking care of the campaign. We're checking out the multiplayer because we've got some new stuff to check out. Mainly a couple of new game modes was kind of the first thing I noticed when you jumped into this multiplayer. When you first get into Quick Match, they give you an option to play a new game mode called Patrol. And it's essentially a zone that moves around the entire map, and it's not like a hard point or anything like that where it's just kind of a zone and then it disappears and it reappears somewhere else. It's actually a moving zone that's almost like on a set of tracks that moves around the map. And you're in there with your friends and you're just trying to take that zone and kind of collect points as you're in it. But the fact that it moves around some of these maps, depending on what map it is, it could be an absolute mess. But outside of that, the other new game mode was Champion Hill, which I thought was pretty cool as well. We'll get into that a little bit later. But overall, my first impressions of this one, man, I think the time to kill has gone up a little bit, or sorry, it's shorter, and now it is. It seems very quick. I like the movement of this, but honestly, it gives me these Modern Warfare 2019 vibes. Like, it's giving me that COD gunplay that I've been looking for the last few games that we haven't gotten. What did you think jumping into multiplayer?
Well, man, I'm a big COD guy too. I've been playing this for 15 years, man. I've been playing Call of Duty for a long time. So getting my hands on this one, of course, the time to kill is one of the biggest changes. It is incredibly quick in this game to take someone down. And again, with patrol mode, like you were saying, this is actually one of my preferred types to play. Back in Doom 2016, they actually had a similar game mode, and it was one of my favorites. So to see it in Call of Duty on some of these maps, it works incredibly well. And then again, of course, other times on some of these smaller maps, it is just a chaotic mess. But I mean, that's a lot of what Call of Duty's formula is. You have some of the really good maps where it's tactical 6v6 or 8v8, and then sometimes you're on like these shipment style maps, which is back again, of course, where it's very small, and then there's just 12v12 chaos happening. But I must say, some of the other improvements, like being able to change your loadout on the fly. You can actually equip new mods for your guns. I know this is what, like the 18th Call of Duty for them to finally figure it out now, you know, whatever. But seeing it fleshed out is great. You unlock a new mod while you're playing a match. You want to test it out? Go right ahead. Oh my goodness, the scope sucks. You can easily switch back. That was one of my favorite things, because often I'd want to try out a scope and I would be stuck with it the entire match, but that is no longer a problem.
All right, Nate. So we did talk about the Patrol new game mode. I did mention Champions Hill earlier. I wanted to jump into that a little bit. This is kind of an interesting new game mode. They've gone through and had this set up as trios and duos. They've also thrown solos in there as well, which I thought was very interesting. You kind of start up with, if you're in trios or duos, with your teammates, and you have 12 lives, and you get put onto this map, and you can buy a couple of different things, whether it's perks or upgrades for your weapons, and then you get thrown into this arena against another team, and you're competing with a bunch of other teams all at the same time, with different map arenas kind of going all on at the same time. It's a very interesting game mode. I didn't quite understand when I first jumped in, but I kind of like it. It's very much like Gunfight was, if anybody that ever played Gunfight before. So they called it Champions Hill. They changed up the way way you play it a little bit. There's some mechanics, like there is a common area, like I said, where you can upgrade, and there's certain things you can buy there between rounds, which I thought was really, really cool. And it's basically just last team standing wins, and I thought they did a pretty good job. This is a fun game mode that is a little more, I guess, tactical compared to the run and gun and the regular multiplayer quick play matches. But overall, I thought this was just kind of a nice addition to adding into the game modes that already exist in the game. And I know you checked out Zombies. What did you think about this year's version of Zombies?
Well, Zombies, it's interesting this time around, because again, Sledgehammer Games with Advanced Warfare, their whole Zombies formula back then, I see a lot of that kind of in this new game. We have a completely different formula where you're not on this map unlocking doors and then trying to find sort of this central area. Right away in this game, you're in a courtyard. You have your upgraded weapon. You have your mystery box. You have all these upgrades available to you right away. And then instead of, you know, like I said, just unlocking doors and round after round unfolding, you actually have to choose an objective. And there's only really 3 different objectives that you get to do. Places that they teleport you are sections of the map, and then other places they teleport you are old maps from like the original Call of Duty. So sometimes you get these kind of cool little Easter eggs as you're playing these missions, which I thought was very interesting. And I guess a big highlight of Zombies now, dude, is the pacing. You get to play at your own pace. Each round you can start as quick as you want. You can start that objective right away. But what's kind of interesting is if you want to farm a few more bucks at the end of each round, when you get teleported back to the courtyard, a whole bunch of zombies spawn in on the map. So it's really nice. There are lots of zombie players that like to explore, look around, and you have that freedom now. You're not worried about the next wave spawning right away. You have that freedom to explore. Whereas other players, they just want to grind and get that gun XP. Because another cool thing is all your experience with your weapons and everything is transports over to multiplayer and to Warzone. So everything is interconnected with this. So it's really cool, man. I actually do like what they've done with zombies. I'm not a huge fan of the map, maybe.
Okay.
And the fact that there are only 3 different creatures to kill is a little, I miss killing those hellhounds. There's only 3 things to kill. But outside of that, I think zombies has been a pretty decent experience. All right, man. Well, it's apparent we've had a pretty solid time with Call of Duty Vanguard. The server issues, there are none, and in games that we've been seeing as of late, well, that has been an issue. So to be able to play this game fairly seamlessly, I think this one deserves a 7, man. It's a solid Call of Duty game.
You know what? I'm right there with you. I've had a ton of fun jumping in. The map selection has been great. Yes, there's been some gun balancing issues, but what shooters don't have that? We have the usual COD hiccups with some of the respawn areas, but other than that, man, I'm having a blast. It's good to hear Zombies has changed things up just enough as well. You know what? I'm going to give this one a 7-2. Map selection and new game modes will draw you into this one. Movement and time to kill have been tweaked, leaving us with one of the best feeling COD games we've had in a few years. Battlefield 2042 is finally here, and let me tell you, this has been one of the shooters I've been waiting for all year long. I mean, Battlefield 1 was one of my favorite shooters of all time, and they've just done such a good job with the Battlefield series. I just was so looking forward to the release of this game. So last week there was an early launch period where people got to jump in early if you pre-ordered the game, and let me tell you, it was met with some terrible reviews. Unfortunately, players were having issues with servers being, dropped, can't join. There was one of the biggest issues was gunshot bloom with some of the weapons, is that you're wherever you're aiming, that's not actually where the bullets are going. Things have been atrocious since the launch, and unfortunately EA hasn't come out with an official comment on when there's going to be maybe hopefully an early patch to kind of get some of these issues out of the way. One of the biggest glitches that we've seen so far is that the hovercrafts are essentially invincible. They can climb buildings, they can fly in the air, they can even take down helicopters in head-on collisions. I mean, DICE has got to get things sorted out here for Battlefield 2042. People have been waiting for this game, and all we want to do is play it and have a good time, but we need to get some of these major issues fixed now. So EA, please, let's get on this. Battlefield 2042 needs it.
So over the last couple of years, we have been requesting remasters of our beloved franchises. In fact, we actually got some of them, like the Skyrim 10-year anniversary edition, dare I say, or the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, being actually honest here. But then some have been missteps. I reviewed Crysis Remastered earlier this year, and it just really sunk the bed. But man, the most recent thing that has been an absolute catastrophe is the fact that Grand Theft Auto Trilogy has launched in its current state for $80 Canadian. They're asking for us to play through 3 mobile ports, essentially, put on next-gen consoles. And these mobile ports are even worse than the original games by a long shot. If you look at any sort of gameplay online, like in San Andreas, while it's raining, you can't even see your screen. I don't know how this game got through testing, this game even was published. This is one of the most unfinished games, and in fact, it is this year's Cyberpunk 2077 as far as refund requests go. They are being bombarded by refund requests both on Steam, Xbox, everywhere, I'm sure. I don't know about Sony. Haven't really heard any details about that because they have a very strict policy. But when you see these glaring issues, and it comes from one of our favorite companies, Rockstar's, someone who's made the likes of Grand Theft Auto 5, which I guess that did have a bit of a rocky launch, but the scope of that game and really what it brought was incredible. And then Red Dead 2, don't even get me started on that 10 out of 10 game. But then the fact that they basically slapped in the face of all the fans of the original GTA series. I mean, that's where I started with this, GTA 3, and then Vice City. I remember playing Vice City so much, hiding by, in the basement behind my parents' back at the current time. Because, of course GTA was a bad game, and I was really young when these games came out. So I was ecstatic to get my hands on this series. And in fact, San Andreas, the one I never played, was on Game Pass. I was really going to check this one out, but now absolutely not. No one should give this company their money, and if you are playing it and somehow actually managing to get through it, because most people are saying they can't even get through their game, the save files are corrupt and it's just unplayable. In fact, on PC, it was completely unplayable. You couldn't even access the $90 plus that you spent on this game for like a whole 3 days or something. So all this being said, Rockstar, I'm devastated by this news. You have said that you are going to work on this, but I think it's too little too late. You cannot launch something like this and expect to get away with it. So that all being said, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this complete mess.
With the 20th anniversary of Xbox, they celebrated this with a live event, having Phil Spencer come on stage and give us the 20-year history of Xbox and what's to come out in the future. They also had Dwayne Johnson come on stage to promote his new film Red Notice, but also a chance for you to win over 1,000 prizes. There was also the release of Halo Infinite beta multiplayer, which released on that day as well. Also, they added 70 plus backwards compatibility games to Game Pass, but this could be the last of these games, as reported in a press release. While we continue to stay focused on preserving and enhancing the art form of games, we have reached the limit of our ability to bring new games to the catalogue from the past due to licensing, legal and technical constraints. Thank you for being part of this journey with us. I have to admit, I do agree with that statement, as some games are better left on their original consoles. As Nate mentioned in the news previously, you can see how the GTA Trilogy went.
Well, that'll be it for today's episode. Thank you for hanging out with us, and of course, you can always be a part of the show by going to insidethegame.ca or hitting us up in Discord, where there you can submit your clip and be the highlight of the week. This week, we have Paul Wick with some VR action in Onward. Let's check it out. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you next week inside the game.